Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
it's a real pleasure. We were just talking offline a little bit, and for me it goes back earlier. I have to admit I missed Wagon Wheel Blues and Slave Ambient. I guess I'm not that cool.
Hey, I mean, that was just yeah, I mean, those were fun to make too. That was just like learning how to, I'm still learning, but yeah, those were basically like experiments in home recording and trying to learn how to record with a band sometimes and put it all together.
Yeah. My real story starts with you. And I remember the moment. It's just one of those moments when someone walked into my office and said, there's this band called The War on Drugs, and they have this new album, Lost in the Dream, and there's this song, Under the Pressure.
Oh
And
yeah.
I put that on, and I look like the guy in the Maxell commercial, that old
Oh yeah.
70s board. I was
Yeah.
just blown away by how great it was. And we immediately put it on the air on the Peak. And our listeners, you hold the award for the most loved song we have ever played on the Peak. And that includes
Oh
Bruce
wow.
Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, Neil Young.
Yeah.
Under the Pressure is the one. So, and at that point, I started watching video, you guys performing like at big European festivals
Yep.
and, playing for 20,000 people. And it's been bandied about that, you guys can handle a big room. Let me attest to that. You guys can handle a big room.
Yeah, that especially under the pressure too. That one's taken on a quite like a different existence in the live format, which has been pretty amazing just to be able to play a song like that and have it evolve with our band and be lucky enough to play it for 70,000 people or something. It's pretty awesome.
Well, you're going to be playing Madison Square Garden end of January, which I'm sure is going to be huge and thrilling to
Yep. I
conquer
mean,
New
yeah,
York
I mean,
City.
yeah, I mean, yeah. It's we pinch ourselves, but yeah, it's like we get into those rooms and we're armed with this great big band and our big sound and we can't wait. We're really, we're beyond excited.
And I love that you use the weird, term. I mean, it's been described under you. It's a little bit like a totalitarian regime when it comes to recording and creating, but your band is your band. I mean, John, Anthony, David, Charlie, and Robbie have been with
Yeah.
you since, Lost in the Dream and playing all these festivals and big rooms and small rooms together. And it's so clear that you have an onstage, you're just tight. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, we're really blessed. I mean, it's like Dave and Robbie were in the band since basically like 2008, 2009, and we were like learning how to put a show on and how to play some of this music because of integrating certain technologies and how do you pull this off. And when we added John and Anthony for the Lost in the Dream tour, it just gelled in a way that I never really saw this band like gelling in a live thing. And it's been amazing. I mean, everybody, the way that the six of us kind of like interpret the records we make, it's amazing. I mean, we just rehearsed in July for the first time in whatever 19 months, and the first few hours were a little rusty, and then like we had some dinner, and then it was like back to normal. It was like everyone just fell right in. It's really so. Yeah, I do feel like when we go into these, it's definitely we're a real it's a real kind of band. Everyone is really really good. It's awesome.
Well, to me, it's almost like it's going to be a social event to see you guys end of January, just the perfect, right at that moment in New York City.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden, here we come, the war on drugs. We're talking to Adam Granduciel, and the reason we're talking to him is because there's a new album coming out on Friday.
Oh yeah.
And I've been past it like 5 or 6 times right now. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a
I
lot.
mean, it's really, God, it's really, really good. Like they're all singles, if you ask me.
Awesome. That's
Um,
yeah.
and as Brian was saying earlier, when we first got, I Don't Live Here Anymore, first I had to listen to it 10 times. I just
Right.
put it on repeat and over and over and over. And then I started calling people like, you got to hear this. You have got to hear this new song from the War on Drugs. So you recorded or at least started in upstate New York. I didn't catch the studio name. It sounds like it was sort of out in the middle of nowhere.
It's called Outlier. And it's in, I actually don't even know the name of the town.
Okay.
I don't, I could find it out, but it's a really great studio. Maybe about almost 3 hours from Brooklyn, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Not up in Woodstock, somewhere. I can find out, but it's a great studio, and you can live right on the property, basically. 200 feet walk to the studio itself, and we just camped out there, and that's where we did a lot of the early writing and demoing
Hmm.
for the record. And then we moved around. We went to Electric Lady later in that year. We were out in Los Angeles at a bunch of places. Um, and and then over the pandemic, we did a bunch of stuff at home, basically.
So now, do the original seeds of some of those songs survive the 1,000+ hours that you've spent, since in the studio with? And I have to mention producer Sean Everett, who seems to have really, found the co-pilot seat with you and is willing to go there and work a kick drum and get the guitar sound just right and just, really, because that's some of the joy of your music. I mean, I love the songs and I love the deeper things that I get from your lyrics. But to me, it's the craft of the album that is just so amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
I mean, Sean is a special guy. I mean, he took an ownership of this record that, I mean, it's just as much his as it is mine, because I mean, I have these big dreams with sound, and I'm like, let's try this, and you can't always do it if you just keep piling it on and making it sound like mud, you know.
mhm.
And having someone like Sean, I mean, he's just like the secret to all of it. I mean, it's really special. And we worked on the last record together, but it's like we just became better friends. Yeah, exactly. We just
Well,
became better friends, and this one, he really did an amazing job.
I refurbish old stereo gear, the old Marantzas and the
Oh,
Pioneers
cool.
and whatnot. So I'm always recapping them and doing stuff. And this album this is the CD that I put in when I finally plug in the KLH sixes and I've
Yeah.
got the Marantz all ready to rock. It's always a deeper understanding. I usually go to what is it? Thinking of a Place. Love
Oh,
that
yeah,
one.
cool.
So, and you won a Grammy for this album, and I think cemented your, the legacy of at least this stretch of your career, because I sure hope there's more. Um, anyway, why don't we do this? Why don't, just so everybody has context here, how about we play a song here on 107.1 The Peak? And I've got to play. I got to play I Don't Live Here Anymore. How did the Lucius girls come in? I know they had sung on the last album, right? Just
They
friends
say in the
from.
last record, yeah, because they're friends with Sean, and they work with Sean as well. So we became close, and then I was like, oh, you should come over. We should put some guys on one of these tracks. And they kind of, it's like the way they do. They just like look at each other and they start doing their thing, and they're so in tune with each other, and they just start adding some flourishes and some pads. It's really beautiful to watch. And then I had this one idea for the choruses to sing those lines. I actually haven't even done my vocal yet, so there was no vocals when they were singing. But I was like, I think I have these two lines I might sing. So why don't you try singing them? And then they did. And then when I went to do my vocals a couple of weeks later, and like when I would sing those lines and they would pop up behind me, it was like it was like a whole other sort of instrument that this band had never really used. So yeah, and I mean, they elevated that tune like to to a great degree. They're really, really special,
Well,
really
it,
good at
it
what they do.
really works. How about we listen to it? We'll come back and chat a little more with Adam Granduciel of The War on Drugs on 107.1 The Peak. Thank you. All right, part two.
Awesome.
Hey, there's I Don't Live Here Anymore. It's the title track from the new album from The War on Drugs at 107.1 The Peak. A new album that comes out on Friday. So we're very excited about that. And the record label was nice enough to give me an advance copy. And I've been listening to it nonstop. And there's so many great songs. I know we're going to hear a 4-song acoustic set from you guys. I Don't Live Here Anymore, I guess, Change, Old Skin. Well, that's a
Yep.
great song. And then the album closer, which is called Occasional Rain. And it's also this big, huge, it's got the huge chorus and the great outro in it. And
Yeah.
so anyway, there's plenty of reason to be excited about the new album from the War on Drugs. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, we're both Massachusetts guys. So you grew up in the North End, huh? Cruising.
My dad had we grew up in the burbs, but my dad had a store in the North End for
Okay.
30 years or something.
Yeah.
So every weekend I would spend the weekend in the North End and ride bikes around and yeah, do everything. Go to
We
Celtics games.
we might have almost collided once at Joe's American Bar and Grill. I had just
Oh,
taken
that
a
was
job.
years later, but oh my
Yeah, it
God.
was it was the summer of 2001. It was September 2001. I had just gotten this gig in Boston, and I'm staring up at the Prudential Center going, "My God, that's my new tower. I gotta get this radio station going."
Oh wow.
And I was all alone, and I was lost in my own thoughts and really kind of freaking out actually. And I don't remember that it was you asking me whether I wanted, regular fries or sweet
Oh
potato
my God.
fries.
Yeah.
And from there, so much has happened. Off to Philadelphia, Kurt Vile,
Yep.
who we dig on the peak. He's
Yeah.
way cool, and you guys just started making home brews. Sort of. Was it that low tech at that point?
Yeah. Basically, we became fast friends when we met in 2003, and we were both into recording. So we both had like these little digital recorders that this is like before we had computers with Pro Tools or tape machines. We basically just had these 8-track recorders, and we knew how to push them to the limit, and we both got really into those things. And so he'd come over to my house, we'd jam in my basement, and then I'd go to his little music room and play synths, and just became fast friends. And then we kind of moved on to getting a 1-inch tape machine and getting into that world a lot and more experimental stuff. And yeah, just like, in Philadelphia and just learning how to put it all together, getting into sound and sampling and all sorts of ways of constructing songs.
Well, I love the fact that you use real instruments. I mean, I mean, every time I look up, you're playing a Fender from the 60s or a Les Paul from the 60s. There's this
Yeah.
huge, baritone saxophone that comes honking in on a lot of the songs. Everybody plays keys, and they're all real keyboards, cool old
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
It,
The keyboard thing is a, yeah, the real old ones sound the best.
yeah. So is it hard, doing the mix for you guys live? I mean, everybody in a couple of channels because it's there's a lot going on up there.
I think we're at 101 channels or
Oh
something,
boy.
which is a lot. Which is it's like a lot. I'm always like, that's not that much. It's not 200. But we are lucky that we've been blessed with some really great sound guys over the years. And the guy who does our sound now, he works for LCD Sound System, so he's used to a lot of stuff happening. But everyone's on stage is really good with their own sound, and just like everyone is into their world and their pedals and their tone and their amps and everything. And it's pretty. I think it's pretty easy at the end of the day. Put
And
the faders up.
Charlie driving that drum kit. He's a
You
great
know it.
enigmatic drummer, man.
Yeah.
He's
Oh my
he's
God. Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
I guess a little bit of family stuff. Congratulations on your son.
Thank you.
It's quite an adventure, Bruce. And
I
that's the
I I just had to take a quick little nap before this radio interview so I could be my prime self. But yeah, they run you down, but in the best way.
enjoy these years. They're fantastic years.
Yeah. No,
Mine's
it's
now
great.
15 and 6'1" and
Oh
bearded
wow.
and occasionally surly
Right.
and a
Right.
long way from that little wooba wooba that we got to know
Yeah.
back then. So that's cool. And you had a chance to meet Bruce, who's a big. I sort of live in the same frame that you do. Springsteen, Petty, Neil
Yeah.
Young, REM.
Yeah.
That's what I cut my teeth on. But it was cool to meet Bruce, huh?
I went to see the Broadway show, and which was incredible. I mean, and then we met afterwards, and it was like, yeah, I mean, it was like a life changing kind of 10 minutes, just because he's a very present guy. Like he knows. So we just had a great, quick little conversation, and we stayed in touch a little bit here and there,
Oh, good.
and
Well,
And
I'm
I'm
sort of,
just, a massive fan. So obviously it was amazing.
and I hope he's listening to your music. I think he'd dig it
I
because I
think
think,
that's how it happened. I think he
yeah,
basically, I think he's, I think he stays up with modern music. And I knew a couple years ago that from like a screenshot of a text or something that I knew he was into Lost in the Dream. And so whenever you hear that, you're like, oh my God, like, how is this even true? And then a couple years later, we got to meet. So yeah, hopefully we can do something on stage together one day.
yeah.
That would be great.
Well, I know better reviewers than I have said that, he's always been on a path to try to really find his songwriting, and he's always continuing with it. He's never always there. And I feel like when I listen to your music, you're well down that same path. I'm not very articulate about saying this, but I feel like you're going there.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, it's just for me, it's just like it's always growing, It's like I don't pretend to have mastered anything ever, So it's really just about getting better with each record, and you know, whether it may be lyrics, production, guitar playing, whatever.
Well,
So
Adam, I want to thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
thank you. Thanks a
Again,
lot.
congratulations on the new album. And to
Thank
my
you.
listeners, go get it and just and find some quiet time and be prepared to
Awesome.
turn it up really loud on a nice stereo system. And we look forward to seeing you end of January, Madison Square Garden. Good
Can't
luck with
wait.
those first couple of dates, and congratulations again, Adam Granduciel, The War on Drugs. Be
Thanks,
well.
Chris.
See ya.
Thank you.